everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. I am sorry I missed the Sunday. I was actually out having a weekend in the Finger Lakes and I had so much fun and I saw so many beautiful landscapes and lakes, and I did tour quite a number of wineries and it was wonderful. So now I'm back in Oneonta. It's very hot. And today I am going to cook a very summery dish that is called Crudaiola. And Crudaiola is a pasta dish. And it's typical from the south of Italy, in particular from the Puglia region state in Italy, which is down east, in the east coast of Italy. And it's called Crudaiola because it's basically pasta salad that is some way in between cold and warm. So what you will need to do this. The ingredients are the following. First of all, you will need extra virgin olive oil. You will need fresh basil. You will need cherub tomatoes or Campari tomatoes, small tomatoes in general. And you will need salty ricotta cheese. It's called ricotta marzotica in Italian. And the reason why it's called ricotta marzotica is because it's a seasoned ricotta that is not so soft as regular ricotta. And it still is pretty soft. So the trick is to put the slice of the ricotta into the freezer for a day or two, because then you have to grate it. So when it grates, it crumbles, and then when you pour the pasta on, it becomes a cream. Now, ricotta marzotica isn't particularly popular in the US, or you can't really find it. I would recommend using either regular ricotta, and you wouldn't have the trouble to put it in the freezer. You can just use regular ricotta, not too much. Or you can use queso fresco, the Spanish the Mexican crumbling cheese. Of course, then you will need pasta. I prefer personally Crudaiola with short pasta, not spaghetti. A lot of people like spaghetti with it, but because it's got some chunks of tomatoes and basil and cheese, I prefer the penne pasta or the macaroni pasta. That's fine too. I also put a little bit of minced garlic and red pepper flakes to taste. The second thing you need to cut is the basil. So you take the leaves of basil and you stuck them up. Here you can see there are several leaves. And then I use the scissors because it's much easier. You don't want to use the blender. I don't know why, but it's one of those traditional recipes that call for some sort of manual thing. So you slice the basil to create little pieces. Then when you have about this much, you can blend and put together the tomatoes so that I have the tomatoes and the basil in the bowl. See, I blended together, and as you can see, there is a good ratio between tomatoes and the basil. Now I'm going to put a little bit of garlic, salt and pepper, and of course extra virgin olive oil. This needs to marinate for about at least a couple of hours, and then we can move forward with the recipe. Here I am adding some garlic to taste. I'm a garlic person, so I use garlic. Now I'm adding a little bit of red pepper flakes. This is totally up to you. If you don't like it, you can skip it. couple of pinches of salt, and the extra virgin olive oil. Be generous with the olive oil. And it has to be extra virgin olive oil. So now this is ready and it can sit for a while. In the meantime, I can grate the frozen piece of ricotta cheese. And again, you can use fresh ricotta as well. You can use queso fresco. I think you can also use crumbled goat cheese. I think it would be good, but it has to be a generous amount. See? I made a bed of grated ricotta cheese now. And now it's important that the cheese goes into the bowl that is where the pasta is going to go, because this is a kind of a two-step recipe for pasta. You boil the pasta. When the pasta is ready, you just pour it in the cheese and you mix it up so that the cheese becomes melted and creates a little cream. And then on top of that, you pour the tomato and basil mixture. So now I am ready to cook the pasta. Okay, now the pasta is ready, so I can move forward. Here I have my pasta, and I pour it into the bowl with the cheese, and then I mix it. See? And now I can pour on top the tomato and the basil. Et voila! Here is a Crudaiola pasta. I hope you enjoy.